Hi, I'm Amy from the Ross Farm, and this is our final Tour de Fleece wrap up. It's not quite over yet. We have just one more day, but I'm going to wrap it up now. I'll tell you about the stuff that I finished spinning in the next couple of days in another episode of Sheep and Wool School, but I did want to wrap up the World of Wool Case of the Golden Fleece box that I got for Tour de Fleece this year, because we have gotten now the last two clues, and they are absolutely beautiful. And the story, the plot thickens, as they say. So I've been really, really enjoying both the spinning side of things and also the storyline that goes along with it. I have spun through the first two clues, and I am now on the third clue. And when I get them all spun and washed and blocked, then I will show you the skeins that I have completed. But that will probably be in the next episode or the one after that, depending on whether I have a moment to wash and block them in between all of the August things we have going on. August is going to get a little bit crazy. Um, so the fifth clue is called imitation. You remember the last one we did was for stage 15, enjoy it. So for stage 19, the fiber is called, the blend is called imitation. And in this clue, the narrator starts to realize that this one is very similar to the Golden Fleece, and maybe the person who is actually doing it is just sort of screwing with them uh, by challenging them to do things that they haven't done before, or things that are a little bit interesting. And the imitation is very, very similar, the narrator says, to the actual Golden Fleece, but it is a different color. So, imitation, according to the book here, is the most sincere form of flattery. At least that is what they say. It's not quite the Golden Fleece, but it isn't far off. This cool-toned blend has softness at its core and a heathered sheen that gives a light melange in the effect in the final yarn. So it is a 50% Rambouillet, 20% Shetland, 20% bamboo, 10% Corriedale blend. And it is soft and shiny and absolutely delicious. And John is already asking for a hat from that particular fiber. And actually, with the added Corriedale and the bamboo and the Shetland, it would maybe hold up well enough to actually be a hat. Some of the things that he's selected so far have been straight up merino, and they would not be appropriate for a hard wearing outside item like a hat. So we're going to start talking about whether it is or is not appropriate in the blend for his hat requests now, because he pretty much wants everything that comes through the door to end up on his head. But that is also very sweet and makes him very knitworthy, because he actually wears all of the things that I make for him. And, that kind of makes a girl feel pretty good. So, stage 19 is imitation, and it is something that is very similar to the Golden Fleece, but not quite. And still at this point, I was thinking that the person who is doing this is likely Poppy the apprentice, making the fiber blends and really trying to stretch her skills as an apprentice and as a fiber blend creator. So that's who I was still thinking that it was. So imagine my surprise when we get to stage 21, the Golden Fleece, which is the final clue, and the blend that is left for him is actually the Golden Fleece. And it turns out to be Tom, the shepherd, who is responsible for all of these blends, which really threw me off because that was not something I was expecting at all. But if we go back, it says that Tom the shepherd has just taken over his family's flock and never bothered with wool before. Quiet and unassuming, Tom is much more at home with his flock than on the road in France. The recent discovery of his fleece quality has launched him into a world of possibility and a clip that's much more lucrative than first thought. So it kind of doesn't really make sense to me that Tom would be the person who is doing all of this, but that's apparently what it is. So stage 21 is the Golden Fleece, and it is a theft-worthy blend, the start and end to this whole charade. The Golden Fleece has been designed to be soft, lightly sheened, and of course, golden toned. The fibers have been thoroughly blended to give a more solid shade, which allows the colors to come into play. And it is 50% Rambouillet, 20% UK alpaca, 20% bamboo, and 10% merino. And you can see it is very golden and it is very lustrous. And I'm really, really, really loving it. So the luster there is coming probably a little bit from the alpaca and a lot from the bamboo. There's only 20% bamboo, but that's enough to give it a really nice shine. So that is the final clue. I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this mystery box, and I've also been really enjoying spinning through all of the Advent calendar from 2025, all of those blends. I finished up Blame the Dog, which, if you remember, is the Brussels sprouts themed fiber, which is very, very green. And the one that was coming up after that is the mashed potatoes one. So it's very mashed potatoes with butter. So I just kind of skipped over that one and went back to spinning the mystery box because if you remember, the third stage or second stage, Simplicity, was also a very creamy plain fiber. So I was getting a little bit creamy plain fibered out. And so I jumped back from the mashed potatoes. I skipped that one and went back to just spinning on this. And things have been a little bit crazy here. We have a lot going on behind the scenes. And we will be talking about that in our next episode, which will be coming out very, very shortly. But I did want to mention next weekend I will be at Flock in Seattle. I will be teaching 2 classes there. I think there are a couple of spaces available in one of the classes, if not both. I'm teaching Fiber Across the Wheel, which is a super fun fiber exploration class to work with all of the things that you would normally find in a blend, but to work with them individually and then create your own blend with your own knowledge that you've gained. And the other class is my fleece choosing, skirting, processing class. I forget what we call it, but it's how to choose a good fleece, and the folks in the class can actually bring in fleeces that they, or portions of fleeces that they already own, so that we can talk about them and see what they should be doing with them. So that is a really fun class to do. I do that one, I think, twice at Lambtown a little bit later as well. But I'm really excited to be at Flock next weekend. Then I'm home for a weekend, and we got a little bit of stuff going on there. And then Mel and I will be at Convergence to teach my primitive class in New Orleans the week after that. And then I've got some stuff going on around here and probably a couple of trips that I'm still trying to flesh out that may happen in September. And then we head to Lambtown in early October, and I have 6 classes there. I think one of them is a full day class, maybe more than one of them is a full day class. I can't really remember. But my classes at Lambtown, they give you the option of either fiber for spinners or yarn for knitters. So if you are not a spinner and you would like to take one of my exploration classes, we will actually be doing it also in yarn. So I have to remind Mel to help me check to make sure that we have all of the yarns to coordinate with the fiber before we head out for Lambtown in about 2 months. Then after that, of course, we'll be vending at Rhinebeck, no teaching, but vending at Rhinebeck. And then Mel and I are headed to Idaho for the trailing of the sheep. And that is going to be super fun. The one other thing I wanted to mention is some boxes just came in the door, and I have a lot of new yarns that just arrived that are just about ready to get labeled and go up on the website. But they are British breeds that were actually spun in Scotland at the Border Mill. And we have, I think, 4 shades of UK Leicester Longwool, as well as some Norfolk Horn, which I think is this one actually. And the Norfolk Horn is a Downs breed, and they're one of my favorites from the UK. So those will be coming back up on the website as soon as we can get some labels made and get them on them. With that also came some UK Leicester Longwool roving and also some washed Leicester Longwool locks. So I'm really, really excited to get those up. Those were raised in Yorkshire and processed in Scotland, and took almost 2 months to make the trip from England because they lived in Memphis at the customs office for about 6 weeks. So that was not fun, but the yarn is really delicious, and I'm really excited to get moving with that. So we've got new stuff coming in all the time. We just had several batches of roving come back from the mill here in Ohio, some Kellard Shetland, some Black Welsh Mountain, and a couple, some Cheviot too, I think. I can't really remember. So those will all be coming up on the website really soon too. And if you haven't yet, please remember we still have some barn raisin shirts available, as well as the tote bags and the reprint of the Ross Farm, the Ross Jacob Sheep, the black t-shirt. So those are all up, and we actually did that as a tote bag too. Those are all up on the website as well. And I got to get back to spinning because we're almost done with Tour de Fleece. And my my fold just arrived. My EEW fold just came in the mail. So I got to get it out and play with it too. So until the next time, you can follow us on Facebook at Ross Farm Fibers, on Instagram at Ross Farm. You can go to our website at therossfarm.com. Follow us on YouTube at Ross Farm Fibers. And also, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Ross Farm Fibers. And you can email us at info@therossfarm.com with any questions. And until the next time, we'll see you real soon.